The film opens with a police car driving deep into the forest. Inside the vehicle is a high-ranking official involved in a major corruption case. Ironically, the police officers escorting him are also part of the corruption network, demanding a cut of the embezzled money. During the trip, the car is forced to stop due to a tractor blocking the road. Two officers get out to assess the situation and attempt to move the tractor. Realizing that something is off, the chief of police, who remains inside the car, decides to step out with two subordinates, while ordering another officer to stay inside and guard Sandra. However, they are ambushed and killed by a mysterious figure whose identity is unknown. This person then enters the vehicle and eliminates the officer inside. The mysterious man is revealed to be Peter, an international hitman. It is explained that Peter was once a Marine, but after his family was massacred, he became an assassin to seek revenge. He removes the corrupt official's mask and compares his face to a photo on his phone. The official tries to bribe Peter with his wealth in exchange for his life, but his plea is in vain.
Did you kill them all? Kids, please. This money. I'm nobody.
Unexpectedly, the police chief survives despite being shot and manages to escape. Peter quickly contacts his associate to report that the target has been eliminated, but warns that one witness escaped and saw his face. His associate advises him to go to a secret location to change his identity for safety.
I've remained. I have lost a witness. He saw my face.
Telecar, time for you to disappear again.
Peter arrives at a secret facility run by an organization of contract killers that offers identity change services. He is greeted by an agent named Stone and taken to a special room where his biometric data, including fingerprints, will be erased. Peter is also instructed to surrender all personal items, including his wallet and phone.
Follow me? Right. Fingerprint. It's still the best way to keep everyone minding their business during the night.
At the facility, Peter encounters several other assassins, including a pregnant woman named Juliet, who shares a room with another assassin named Susan. Meanwhile, a mafia group covertly attacks the facility, aiming to kidnap Juliet. They successfully breach the gates, kill the guards, and hack the security systems, including CCTV and access controls.
Not your time.
Stone is initially unaware that the facility has been infiltrated. When he leaves his office, he is shocked to find a colleague murdered. Panicking, he hides and activates the emergency alarm. Peter hears the alarm but remains indifferent. He stays in his room, quietly staring at a photo of his deceased daughter. Meanwhile, Susan and Juliet find Stone and ask for his help, knowing the mafia is targeting Juliet. Susan then approaches Peter and urges him to help, but he refuses, saying he has no reason to get involved and doesn't know them. Susan tries to persuade him by stating that she knows who he is, someone highly respected in the world of assassins. However, Peter remains silent, and Susan and Juliet eventually leave without him.
We don't have much time. We need your help. Compound's being sieged. They want us dead. But I know you.
Get out of my room. Sorry to disappoint.
Soon after, Peter is attacked by a mafia member who opens fire on him. Peter easily retaliates and takes down the attacker. Reflecting on the situation, Peter finally decides to help Juliet and Susan. While exploring the facility, he reunites with them just as Susan finishes off another mafia member. When they hear more enemies approaching, Susan suggests launching a preemptive strike, but Peter insists that it's her responsibility.
Julius, just want this. Must have finding you like this.
They head to the armory, only to find the weapons locked behind a glass cabinet and no keys in sight.
You okay?
Suddenly, Stone appears. They immediately question him about the keys. Stone explains that he only has the spare key to a cabinet containing emergency weapons. When they open it, they find only a few knives and smoke grenades. With no other choice, they decide to make use of whatever weapons are available.
What are these?
Smoke grenades
Sure why it was checked in.
for something more useful.
The mafia begins surrounding the facility. After one of them is killed, Susan instructs Juliet to throw a smoke grenade, triggering an intense shootout. They manage to take down the mafia members who stormed the armory, but Stone is shot and killed during the battle.
I'm not gonna die. Sorry.
It's okay.
Susan then takes Juliet and Peter, who has a wounded leg, to the medical room. There, Peter asks about the mafia's true intentions. Susan explains that she used to work for the mafia boss in a human trafficking network. Juliet was once a victim meant to be sold, but because the boss became infatuated with her, she was forced to be his girlfriend for years, eventually becoming pregnant. When someone offered a high price for Juliet, the boss decided to sell her too. Feeling pity, Susan chose to rescue her after witnessing the abuse Juliet endured. Moved by the story, Peter sympathizes and suggests they escape immediately.
This boss of yours,
You used to do the same. Protect innocence.
the baby. Is it?
Peter then suggests to Susan that they head to the monitoring room to disable the signal jammer so he can contact his friend. However, Susan insists on going alone and tells Peter and Juliet to stay put.
Where's that?
I need to turn off the signal jump. Security cabin. Do that.
You make sure he does.
On the way, she confronts the mafia boss's right-hand men and their henchmen. She manages to kill most of them, though one escapes. Susan successfully reaches the monitoring room and disables the jammer, though she sustains a chest wound during the fight. When she returns, she informs Peter and Juliet that the signal is back, and they need to head to the storage room to retrieve a phone.
Mission successful. Except for a few mishaps. The only thing we need now is phones.
Yeah.
Upon arrival, They are ambushed again by the same right-hand man who escaped earlier. After an intense shootout, Peter finally kills him. Peter, Susan, and Juliet enter the storage room to retrieve the phone, but they are surprised by a hitman already waiting for them. Peter immediately throws a smoke grenade to create a diversion, but the assassin proves to be formidable, nearly overpowering Peter and Susan. After a fierce fight, they manage to defeat him. Peter quickly grabs a phone and contacts his friend to request backup. Unfortunately, his friend says help won't arrive until the following morning. Meanwhile, Juliet and Susan encounter another hitman. Susan tells Juliet to run to the front room while she stays to fight. Just as Susan is about to be killed, Peter appears and challenges the assassin. He lures the killer toward a vehicle and throws a grenade at it, ending the fight.
And I'll hide.
Hard way or an easy way, but there really is. The girl, where is she? Won't hurt ya. Promise.
Peter and Susan then rush to the front room, only to find some identity documents. Juliet is gone. Susan concludes she has been captured. She urges Peter to help rescue Juliet, but he refuses, saying he's done enough. Susan brings up Peter's tragic past. His wife and daughter were kidnapped and killed by a human trafficking mafia after resisting. She pleads with Peter not to let Juliet suffer the same fate. Susan then leaves on her own to save Juliet.
What you doing? We have to find her.
No attachment.
Your little girl's mother, killed in a revenge shooting.
That's how we survive!
Go fuck yourself.
Susan eventually finds Juliet being taken away by the mafia bosses to top enforcers, Yenny and Runnell. As they prepare to load her into a car, Susan attacks, but her efforts fail, and she is nearly killed by Runnell. At the last moment, Peter arrives and saves her.
Give me much to eat.
Not bad.
A brutal fight ensues. Peter against Runnell, and Susan against Yenny. Despite his exhaustion, Peter fights on but is overpowered. Meanwhile, Susan defeats Yenny and rushes to help Peter, who is on the brink of death. The fight ends just in time as reinforcements arrive and defeat the remaining enemies.
stop looking for us, Willie. Thank you.
Sometime later, Susan and Juliet await the birth of Juliet's baby. They agree to name the child Peter as a tribute to his bravery and sacrifice. The film closes with a scene of the mafia boss lounging in his hideout. Suddenly, he hears a commotion outside. He fires wildly, only to realize he has shot his own men hostages of Peter. In an instant, Peter appears and executes the mafia boss, ending the story with final justice.